Welcome to Nerdities. Bitches.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of appropriate ages. No, wait a second. Fuck your kids. Nerdities presents the best wrestling podcast on the interwebs. This is Wrestling with Ourselves, home to your podcast and internet trios champions of the world. I am 1/3 of said champions, co-host of the show. I am the Lord and Master of the Universe, the Alpha of Alphas. Justin, as always, joined by the God of the Dad Bod, the King of Chaos himself,
Kyle.
Rounding out the trio, he is the Jean-Claude Van Damme of the Body Slam. He is the Saint of Cynics. He is the edgiest of the Squish Lords.
Oh, last part's not true, but it's been.
And now prepare yourselves for the silkiest voice in all of wrestling podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
He hails from parts well known. He is the mouth of the East, God's favorite atheist.
That's right. Mike.
And the oldest young boy in existence. He is the $1 Million Mensch.
Joe. You need more nicknames. All of us have like 3. Some of us, one of us has 4, right? We all like, max at 3.
I have 2.
Okay.
Kyle's got 2. Vinny has 3.
I think the oldest young boy counts.
Okay. Yeah.
Oldest young boy.
Found that more of a descriptor, but yeah.
Oh, I found it.
Oh no.
This is not wrestling related. I
No,
don't think
it
it's
is not.
gross on this show.
It's kind of wrestling.
He's wrestling with something.
I don't think this has come up on any show.
God, I don't want to click this.
I'm not clicking this during the show.
I'm not clicking this. No, I don't want to see this.
All right.
You know what's funny? I was called a prude not too long ago, and I get you two sitting there on your high horses.
I'm not on any horse. First off,
You're on a freaking
Second of all,
steed, bro.
if you listened to what I said I'm not clicking on that during the show.
Oh, okay.
This page doesn't exist. Try searching for something else.
Really?
That's what I'm saying.
See, you tempt me with with some tube steak, and then you fucking then you leave me flat. See, this is why I didn't fucking click on it in the first place.
You promised him a knee shooter and gave him nothing.
Yeah, fuck you.
Oh.
All right, let's talk wrestling. Let's talk contracts, shall we?
Sure.
The last time we talked, we had discussed that there's quite a few contracts in the WWE that were coming due. Not sure where certain people were going to lean, but since then, Drew McIntyre has re-signed with the company, which is that's a shocking one to me. I really thought he'd be on his way out. Not that there was like any animosity, but I think, expand his horizons.
They must have made him some really big hollow promises.
Probably.
I think he's set up for like probably 3 feuds ahead now because he's had to do so much work with other people being injured that it's almost like he's guaranteed like another year to a year and a half of being featured on TV. That plus the money that they're offering him was probably too good to risk going somewhere else and not get enough TV time.
My thing is, he did the best he could with it. But the last time Drew was a champion was COVID.
Not true. He was champion for like, 5 minutes?
Maybe 3.
Did they cane him? Did they really just give him a belt and yank it away?
Yeah, Damian Priest cashed in the Money in the Bank.
Yeah. And thanks to help from C. Montgomery Punk, he was able to take the title right away. Second one, Seth Rollins. Would I have loved to see Seth leave the company? Yes. Was Seth ever a thought in my mind of leaving the company? No.
He's way too entrenched.
Yeah. And so he has signed a fancy new contract extension. Sounds like Kevin Owens also signed a longer contract. That one's kind of shocking. I really thought he was leaving.
He'd fit really good in AEW.
All his besties are there.
Yeah, he really would. Well, not one.
What? Well, yeah.
Tammy's not.
It's true.
But the rest of them are.
Yeah. As long as he's not on the same show as Phil, I think things will be fine.
Oh, there's negative blood between them?
There's negative blood between them and the fact that his best friends are the Young Bucks.
Did he have similar beef with Punk for the same reason that Eddie Kingston did? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Very much so.
And then, yeah.
Is it the same reason a lot of people do?
Yep.
Not really. Well, I guess. But it was like a whole... Well, I mean, the whole thing with Eddie Kingston was that he was lazy, which is not necessarily the same critique of Kevin Owens, but I believe they were both body shamed specifically by CM Punk.
It's kind of ironic, although not like Punk is in bad shape, but he doesn't look like he's in the best potential shape that he could.
No.
Well, we're talking about back like when he was still in Ring of Honor, right?
Yeah.
Like long time ago.
Yeah.
Old beef.
Well,
Yeah.
he carried that through when Punk made it to WWE. And Owens, although he's Canadian, he's French Canadian, so he's not forgotten. Speaking of Punk and McIntyre, there was a line last night that McIntyre dropped that, spicy. He says, if CM Punk didn't get injured, he'd have screwed up and got fired, and he's got nowhere else to go. So you're welcome, Punk.
Gotta respect that they're not holding back the reality for certain stories.
I appreciate that. The other contract, big name, tied together with Seth Rollins, is Becky Lynch. And as soon as Rollins signed his new contract, everybody expected Becky to sign hers. Well, as of last night, Becky Lynch has wrestled her last match.
For now?
No one is sure. No one can get any legit answer from any camps. All we know is, as of Friday night, Rebecca Quinn is a free agent.
She did post, I think it was on Twitter, maybe, or Instagram, a picture of her walking out of the arena with the caption, "To be continued."
Correct.
That speaks volumes.
Now, the internet, being the internet, was like, she's going to AEW. Me, being a reasonable person and a father, goes, no. She is taking a good chunk of time off. She's going to raise her daughter.
How long was Seth's extension for?
A couple of years. It's usually 2 to 3.
Okay. So it's not a crazy thought that he could ride this contract out, give her some time, let the kid grow up a bit, and then they could both sign at AEW when his contract is up.
Sure. Yeah, I don't buy into the she's just gonna show up there.
At AEW.
Yes.
Okay. Wait, Mike, you said they would both sign with AEW on the next deal? Is that what you said?
It's not a crazy notion. If she takes some time off, enough time to, to spend with the kid. I mean, I've seen pictures of their kid around 4 or 5-ish.
Yeah.
So you take...
I think 4. I think she's younger than me. Yeah, a little bit younger.
You take 3 to 4 years off. The kid's 6 or 7 by the time she might be ready to come back in. And a little bit more independent, a little more capable of going on the road with them if they need to. And if you have a much more limited schedule with the AEW contract, that would make pretty great sense if their priority is the child.
That's why a lot of people on the net was like, she's going there. Tony can offer her big money. And that schedule is going to be clutch. She's only got to show up once a week. And then the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I doubt she even needs to. With the money that Rollins is making, yeah, just take some time off.
The money she made herself.
Yeah.
Remember, for like a fucking year and a half, she earned that nickname, The Man. She was the hottest fucking thing they had.
Yeah.
Between both rosters. It wasn't even a fucking question. And her book has done amazing numbers. Mama's done fine on her own. She don't need a man, is what I'm saying.
But all around, money isn't a concern for the family.
No, it's time. Seth would never leave because he'd look like too much of a fucking hypocrite after all the bullshit he's talked online to people like Will Ospreay. Although I'd love to see Will Ospreay and Seth Rollins have a fucking match together.
Yeah, I mean, they would almost need to reignite that feud online before he gets brought over.
Could happen.
Or something like that.
Yeah. So there we go.
Yeah. Oh,
oh.
I thought you were gonna bring up, since you just mentioned Will Ospreay, somebody else that Will Ospreay has recently brought up.
Excuse me.
Or were you saving that?
I don't even know if I know what the fuck you're talking about.
Well, I'll do this one, and then there's a couple free agents that are potentially coming up in AEW also. But I was talking about Ricochet.
He has been
because Will Ospreay made that whole post about how he thinks Ricochet is underused, and when his contract's up, he hopes he comes to AEW because he wants to wrestle him again. Ricochet is currently a champion in WWE, but it's a championship that can only be defended in matches that last 5 minutes or less. So it's not really a championship, and he's held that belt for under a month. So it's not like he's a long-running champion of a well-established belt. He's the inaugural champion, and he's been the champion, I think, for like 25 days.
They have a belt with a match time limit?
Well, yeah.
Now, it's a month old, not even a month old.
Yeah.
I thought the 24/7 rule was silly.
Yeah.
This tops that. At least the 24/7 rule got you crazy, stupid, ridiculous matches wherever you wanted to do them. This is literally limiting your ability to have a match. Sure, you can do a lot of good work in 5 minutes, but you're guaranteed that that's all you're going to see with these guys, whoever has this belt and whoever's going to compete with them. That's just
Yeah, it's dumb. And it's yet another fucking title we don't need.
Well, we'll be talking about that when we do the review of the pay-per-view.
Yeah. It's injury.
Oh, I was also going to say, the rumor that Aleister Black, or Malachi Black's contract is up. I believe that it was confirmed he is currently under contract through the end of July, I believe.
Yes. I don't know what he's going to do. after this weekend. If he's out,
Yeah.
if he's out, he's out. It's not like they've utilized him well enough. Although, again, we'll talk about this weekend. So I don't think it's going to hurt anybody. On the flip side, though, Donovan Dijak, his contract is up, I think, at the end of June.
I don't even know who that is.
You wouldn't, Kyle would.
We saw him in Tom's River.
We did see him wrestle. Big dude. I know he's out. He is not sticking around. So it would be nice for TK to pick him up.
I think he'll end up in Impact.
Good. I'll just be happy he gets out of there and gets his fucking name back.
Yeah. Was he T-Bar?
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least it's not that name.
Yeah.
Well, T-Bar sounds better than Donovan Dijak.
That's his real name. That's his shoot name, brother.
That's his
It's
real name.
Dijakovic, right?
Yeah, Dijakovic.
At least that makes a bit of sense.
T-Bar's a terrible fucking name. Terrible fucking name. Injury time. We'll get to how Adam Copeland did what he did, but he's going to be out for a while. He broke his tibia and will require surgery.
Refresh the memory. Which one's the tibia? It's one of the leg bones, right?
Yeah,
Not the long one. That's the femur. It's one of the short ones.
yeah,
Okay, it makes sense based on what he did.
yep.
It's the long bone in your lower leg, also known as the shin bone.
Okay.
Thanks,
Yeah, right
Joe.
about that.
Thank you.
Way to produce, Joe.
So, yeah, he's going to be out a bit. He dropped a video on Twitter. It was like, you know what? I got a little overzealous. I'm not as young as I used to be. No shit, Adam.
I wasn't sure exactly what went down because it's not like he had a Psycho Sid incident.
No. Thank God.
Every time I see that, I come close. I come close to throwing up. That was a lot. That was too much. But you could tell it wasn't a good landing.
You want one that'll top that? There's a match from Japan. And I forget who the two wrestlers were.
Oh, Kyle already knows.
Kyle knows this one.
No. I just don't want to think about anything that's related to this.
That's worse than Psycho Sid's.
My dude.
Well, didn't Anderson Silva have a match where the guy's bone, broke,
Yeah.
directly in half?
Yeah, no. This is... My dude gets drop kicked in the stomach. And his stomach ruptures. So he starts spraying blood out of his fucking mouth.
Oh, I was expecting some other kind of bone break. That's worse in its own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's always the time you can go back and watch X-Pac tear his asshole doing a Bronco Buster. Anyways,
I'm good.
another injury. Our
Triple H's quad.
yeah.
Wait, did he tear his asshole at a gas station?
Unfortunately, our man Eddie Kingston is going to require a major surgery for that broken leg of his. He's going to be out a year.
Where's rocking?
Smash it on your father's head.
Give him a honky tonk Jarrett.
Yeah. So that is your injury and contract updates. Now it's time to review some pay-per-views. It was a tale of two pay-per-views over the weekend, as the WWE decided to hold their King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia.
I heard nothing about this.
Yeah.
I didn't know AEW was happening either, so that's not a great sign. But I didn't figure King of the Ring would be advertised a bit. But it was free on Peacock, right? So who cares?
Yep. The event started with a women's tag team championship. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defended their titles versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill would defeat Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell to retain their titles. Next up was a women's world championship match as Becky Lynch, the champion, took on Liv Morgan. Becky just winning this belt back at WrestleMania a month ago. And she lost to Liv Morgan, who is your new champion. But we would find out the reason that happened is because she's done. Next up, the Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn defended his title versus Chad Gable and Bronson Reed. It was a slobber knocker, if you will.
My God.
With Sami Zayn defeating Chad Gable and Bronson Reed via pinfall to retain the title.
I don't have a problem with this result, but I have a problem with the way WWE books certain things. Because didn't Sami Zayn have to beat Chad Gable to get a shot at this title?
Yes. Otis would interfere and ultimately cost Gable the match.
This one?
Yes, unintentionally. Sammy would take advantage of it, hit his hell of a kick on Bronson Reed, and would get the win.
Yeah, I don't like how they book people this way. Like, I get that it's this. I get that they're trying to tell a story, but at the same time, like, I don't want to see the same guy wrestle the same guy 4 times in 2 months.
Yeah, you think with the roster that they have, we would be at the point where we're avoiding this situation. But here we are. All the time.
Yeah, here we are.
Next up, the Queen of the Ring finals. Lyra Valkyria versus Nia Jax. And would you know, Nia Jax would defeat Lyra Valkyria via pinfall to become Queen of the Ring. Next up was the King of the Ring finals. Gunther versus Randy Orton. And Gunther defeated Randy Orton via pinfall to become King of the Ring. He did.
Did he?
He did.
Yeah, the referee's decision's final, huh? Huh,
What?
Paul?
What?
What?
What'd you say?
The referee's decision is final, Paul, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though Randy didn't have his shoulder down.
Hey,
Right.
what you gonna do?
So he didn't win. But he did win.
But he did win.
The ref said so.
He did win.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the winners of the tournament go on to have world title matches. Not on this show, but future. Which means Gunther's going to get his shot against Cody Rhodes, probably. Next up, we saw the undisputed WWE Championship. Cody defended his title versus Logan Paul. Logan Paul is your new world champion. No, kidding. Cody Rhodes.
Based on your statement, that didn't make sense to me, but okay.
Cody Rhodes did something that probably made millions of people happy in this match.
What did he do?
What the hell is the name of the move that he did?
Crossroads?
No. Didn't he do the,
Oh, he hit the vertebreaker.
Yes, that's what it's called.
Yes, he gave him the
I'm trying to think of the
vertebreaker.
name of it. I would have felt really weird trying to reference it as, like, the move where you look like you're going to break your opponent's neck.
Yes, the vertebreaker.
There you go.
made popular by the Hurricane, Shane Helms. Sugar Shane
Great.
Helms,
Great character. I don't care what anyone says.
leader of 3 Count. Yeah, that's right. I went that deep. And there you have it. That was the King and Queen of the Ring. On Sunday night, for what felt like 7.5 hours, AEW held its Double or Nothing pay-per-view.
Yeah, that was extensive.
As one who pays for these things, I wouldn't be upset if they were wrapped up in a nice 3-hour package.
You don't want to get more for your buck? More bang?
You know, don't get me wrong. With the exception of one match, everything was fucking great.
There was one that was a absolute stinker.
Yeah.
I feel bad for everyone involved in this match. One person specifically.
You know what the worst part about this match is? I mean, like, I know what match it is, but even if I didn't know what match it was, if I just looked at the card before this pay-per-view, I would have been able to tell you what match it was going to be.
I see now on paper, this match had a lot of potential. It really did. It really did.
Having not seen the most senior member in that match in a while, I would have been iffy. When he came out, I think I knew instantly we've got a problem here.
Yeah.
He's not looking 100%. Not looking 75%.
Like, there was 2 members in that. If 2 members of that match had a one-on-one, it would have been a fucking great match.
Any 2, or
No.
like omitting the one we're
Yes.
talking about? Okay, so let's. I'd say let's jump into this thing so we can not beat around this bush too long.
Let's get into the night here. The night started with. That's not it. Wait, why would they jump to that one? God damn it! They went backwards, motherfucker. Hang on a minute. God damn you, CBS Sports.
Yeah, fuck you, CBS Sports.
Yeah, wait. Why are we all angry at CBS Sports?
I don't know.
Did they not put the matches in order, Justin?
I don't know what the fuck they did here.
Unless CBS Sports wants to give us money, then I love you, CBS Sports.
Yeah, you're the best CBS Sports.
Blah, blah, blah.
Direct deposit to us,
What
CBS
ass.
Sports.
Alright. Give me a minute here.
How does AEW not have it on their own website?
No, neither company has their own shit on their websites anymore.
Like,
You want me to check Bleacher Report?
No. I mean, I got it. It's just in reverse order on the page. For whatever fucking reason.
actually, they do.
Do they?
Yeah, they have. It's like one of the first things when you go to AEW.com.
Alright, hang on a minute.
At least I hope so. I'm not misrepresenting.
Okay, here we go. The pre-show featured Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa squaring off, with Purrazzo defeating Rosa.
I'm gonna have to admit, like we didn't watch the pre-show. We got in pretty much right as the show was starting, like at the beginning of a match. I had no friggin' clue there was another 2 matches.
Yeah, it would have been too much.
Mm-hmm.
The second pre-show match was Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, and Daddy Ass taking on Khan, Toa Leona, and Brian Cage, with the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass defeating Cage of Agony.
Okay, yeah, I think we caught the end of this.
Yeah.
We caught the very tail end of this one, because I remember Baby Ass there.
Yes. The night started with Roderick Strong defending his international title against one William Ospreay. Good God, can Will Ospreay wrestle? Same thing with fucking Roddy.
I was going to say, Roddy's no slouch himself.
No. It was a good match. It was a good way to start the night, officially.
Yeah. Plenty
except-
of chops, plenty of pain.
Yes. Lots of loud noises. Tons of loud noises. But fuck Matt Taven, dude.
What?
He almost killed Will Ospreay.
Which spot are you talking about?
That was the spot over when he did the fucking jump over the...
Oh yeah, he almost
Yeah.
landed Osprey right in his friggin' head.
Yeah. It was fucking scary looking because even the announcers were like not doing their jobs for a second.
Yeah, everyone kind of stopped for a second and had to check on him.
You could almost hear Tony Schiavone shit himself with like, oh god, the best thing we have going right now might be dead. But he wasn't. He's not injured, so good for him. Will Ospreay would come out on top, defeating Roderick Strong after hitting a picture-perfect Stormbreaker. Some dude was dressed like Jesus and came up and high-fived Ospreay. It's pretty cool.
You got the blessing of your Lord.
Yep. There was a moment, too, where Will Ospreay did a backflip off of Roddy's chest. That's pretty sweet.
It was pretty sweet.
Next up, Death Triangle took on the Bang Bang Gang for the Trios titles. But not before Adam Cole would make a surprise appearance and yelled at the crowd about how he shouldn't even be there, like he was Dante from Clerks. He pulled out the devil mask before a video began to play for MJF.
This happened this early in the night?
Yeah, this happened literally like right after the Roddy match. Because he should be coming out to check on Roddy, or backstage checking on Roddy instead of coming out to address the shitty fans in Las Vegas.
Right.
And out comes MJF, dressed up in a similar outfit as Triple H's 2002 return from his quadricep tear.
Yeah.
Yes, with the jean jacket, leather cutoff.
Combo.
Yeah, it was great. Came out, they hugged. After MJF was like, fuck you at first. And then after they hugged, MJF kicked the nicest field goal to the balls I've seen in a long time. There's a lot of sauce on that kick.
He did not have a scarf. And he
No scarf.
did not have a shirt on. And there was good reason for both.
Whew.
The scarf is very connected to heel MJF, and the shirt is very connected to covering up any of the obvious work he did to get in incredible shape.
My dude looks cut. Like,
Yeah.
You remember how he's starting to look like bulky?
Yeah.
Right before he left? He's not. He trimmed down a lot. He's very cut. He looks fucking terrific.
The closest comparison I could give him would be HBK.
Yeah.
Prime HBK.
Little
I
bit.
think the bulk was for the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he looks fucking tremendous. Cut a great promo. Says he doesn't trust or rely on people anymore, yada, yada, yada. And he said, for you marks out there that don't understand about his contract status, and he rolled up his leg, he's got an AEW tattoo, and he said, I'm not fucking going anywhere.
All right. If you're going to say it,
What?
he referenced the movie, man. You got to quote it the right way.
Yeah, I know he referenced the Wolf of Wall Street. He also called himself the Wolf of Wrestling. But I think
Yeah,
that's...
he says the Wolf of Wrestling because he's not fucking leaving.
Yeah. I wasn't behind the gimmick. Good for him.
Why? I thought
I
that was
totally forgot about the movie.
Yeah.
It didn't hit me. The crowd's going nuts. I'm like, why is
I
it
thought that was wonderful. I'm not fucking leaving. Yeah, I mean, the tattoo is cool. I kind of wish if they're going to do a tattoo reveal, it looked a little nicer. But it is what it is.
Fine. Hey, listen, good for him. Good for him for getting contract monies. I'm super happy he's back. The company is getting itself in a position to be fucking white hot again. They just need to remove Tony as a booker.
Well, there's they're putting themselves in a position now where, like, yeah, they're back to the point where they're going to be firing on all cylinders, even with, the Adam Copeland injury, because, Pac is back, and the Lucha Brothers are healthy again.
Yeah.
So that's another trio team, even though they didn't win. Which, it's understandable because they want to keep a belt on Jay White. But, like, you're right. Things are lining up for them to pick up steam again.
The problem is that belt needs to come off of Jay White. You need to establish 6 guys that are going to be vying for the top. You're not using Copeland. Omega's out. It is time to elevate Ospreay. No pun intended. Jay White. MJF, now that he's back. Who's the fucking champ? I can't even fucking remember.
Are you fucking kidding?
I'm like legit just having a blank.
Well, whose house is it?
Oh yeah, Swerve. Dude, relax.
Long day?
Well, this pay-per-view was long, and there's a very large roster.
Well, there's a lot of belts.
Well, so if you're thinking through it like this, right? If you have MJF returning as a face, Ospreay is currently a face, and Swerve is a face, right?
Swerve's questionable, but yeah.
Okay, but you would assume that they're gonna keep Jay White as a heel, and MJF is kind of questionable also.
Yeah,
but they're gonna keep Jay White as a heel. Moxley always has the potential to be in that picture, although I don't think he should be at the moment.
Yeah, not holding another company's belt.
They really. Does Jack Perry enter that conversation?
Sure.
Does Darby Allin eventually enter that conversation?
Yeah.
And then the only other person I would really say is Malachi Black. Malachi Black's going to stick around.
Yeah, they have to do something about that. Anyways, back to this very long pay-per-view. So, the Bang Bang Gang would defeat Death Triangle thanks to a returning Juice Robinson. And, they celebrate. Toni Storm versus Serena Deeb for the AEW Women's Championship. Toni Storm's incredible. Everything she does is great. Serena Deeb is a fucking tactician.
This is an all-around great match.
Yeah.
There's just quality from both sides.
Yeah. And Toni Storm would defeat Serena Deeb to retain the title. Next up, Orange Cassidy would take on Trent Beretta.
In a rare situation where Cassidy comes out like on all cylinders.
Yeah. There's
I think he got halfway through the match before he even put his hands in his pockets.
Yeah. And he came out to his old entrance music.
I think he's very happy.
Made a lot of people very happy.
Like it started his old his current music, and then that stopped for a second. So I wasn't sure if that was a tease, and then give people what they want, or someone didn't get the memo.
Nope, went back to Jane. No, instead of Jane. That's right. This was good. They told
It was a Pixie song, right?
The Pixie song, yeah. This was good. This was a good little match here to fill up time between titles because there's 18 of them. Cassidy,
In a weird way, Beretta just blowing off everyone that he's friends with, that's part of his crew, is just literally saying, "I'm done with this. I'm not doing this. I'm done." Whatever the hell that means.
Yeah, so he would lose Beretta to Cassidy. Next up, for the FTW title, which is not an official title, but they still have matches for it anyway. Chris Jericho would defend it versus Hook and Shibata.
Here we have the low point of the night.
This match was fucking terrible. Chris Jericho looks fucking terrible. Like, concerning terrible. Jericho had that pulmonary embolism last year, or 2 years ago now, and my man got into good shape. He was cut. He was taking good care of himself. He went back on the road with Fozzy at the end of last year, and now Jericho looks all of the, 54 years of age that he actually is.
Yeah, he looks exactly like he did before he got sick.
He looks worse.
I don't get the gimmick too. Like what? It's like he's got all this information, all this skill, and he's just trying to teach the children.
The gimmick's great.
Well,
It's because the internet buries Jericho, and he's like, all he wants to do is go against younger guys, and he always beats them. Whatever happens to the younger guys that align themselves with Jericho, their fucking careers fall apart. Blah, 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 blah. Jericho sucks.
yeah.
So
I
Jericho
mean,
turned it into a fucking gimmick, and he calls himself the Learning Tree.
which was apparently a nickname he stole from Brian Myers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, at least he still has his thumb on the pulse.
But I think no, I like his demeanor. I don't necessarily like the name the Learning Tree, and I kind of despise the fact that he calls
Big Bill?
Redwood.
I like Redwood more than I like Big Bill.
I don't like either one. W. Morrissey was fine with me.
Me too.
Or there's Morrissey, whatever.
I don't think a single spot landed in the entire match.
It was fucking terrible.
Everyone was off.
Now, if Hook and Shibata had a match, it would have been tight.
I could totally see that. Okay, not to totally debase Jericho, but he was throwing off the rhythm of everything.
Yeah. He was out of shape. Like, even in the ring, he just looked bad.
Yeah, he was pretty gassed from word go.
Next up was a match I was really looking forward to seeing, and it didn't let me down. Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita for a shot at the IWGP Championship that Moxley is holding. Good match. Takeshita is a good fucking wrestler, and Mox is Mox. Like, this was beautiful. This was just good professional wrestling.
Yeah, for a big guy, Takeshita's got a lot of quick moves.
Yeah.
He can work speedy. He works against his size.
Moxley would defeat Takeshita, leaving up in the air who Moxley's next opponent for the IWGP title would be.
It really doesn't make any sense
Why?
for him to beat Takeshita now.
Well, it does, because I don't think New Japan wanted Mox defending the title against a non-New Japan person at a New Japan show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just kind of thought of it as the whole point of this match is to give the challenger an actual title shot in Japan. Usually that stipulation is for the guy to win and then lose the actual title match. And then eventually down the line they have the rubber match.
Yeah, but that doesn't benefit New Japan in the long run.
Yeah, I guess that's just something I didn't really think about.
Next up was the TNT title barbed wire cage match. Adam Copeland would defend his title versus Malachi Black. Whew.
It's that fun storytelling. Right out of the gate, they did a lot of bloodletting, but I can't help but think it was very meticulously planned. They had two actual dangerous barbed wire sets,
Yeah.
and everything else was gimmick. Everything else was just rubber. Because there was a lot of bouncing off of stuff where you figure, oh, that guy is going to come back shredded, and there was no marks.
I don't know if it was rubber. A lot more barb was taken off of some of the stuff than the other stuff. They did this cool thing with Brody King and Buddy Matthews coming out. And they like go to the... Because at that point, the two of them had busted open the cage, so they fell out of it. And they're on the floor, like just kind of like dazed, staring at each other. And out comes King and Matthews, and they go to the side of Malachi, and they look at him with like this fucking look of disgust. And they walk over and stand next to Copeland, and you're like, holy shit, they are forming a new Brood. And then they both turn around and punt fucking Copeland in the head. Gangrel would show up.
Yeah, they telegraphed that because Copeland's entrance literally had the words "The Brood"
Oh yeah, he had this cool
on the
new
screen.
Brood thing going on.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Copeland would tie Buddy Matthews to a table with barbed wire and then proceed to, instead of dropping an elbow from the top rope, climb to the top of the fucking cage and drop said elbow. I don't think that was a good idea. And it wasn't.
Yeah, there was no smart way to land that move. Because if he landed flush on him on the table, lots of damage for both of them. So what he decided to do is basically just jump from the top of the steel and land on his feet and fake an elbow. Elbow didn't even look like it connected.
No.
But he landed on his feet from far too high and jacked his leg up.
Oh, God, man. For a second, I thought he had, like, twisted his fucking foot around. But it's fine. He's not fine. He could barely walk out of that ring. But he did defeat Malachi Black to retain the title that he's going to have to fucking give up now. Good. Merge it with another title, so we have one less title. Next up would be Willow Nightingale defending her TBS title versus Mercedes Moné in Mercedes' first match for AEW since making her debut. And would you know, it was a good fucking match.
It's a good match, but it's one of those ones where Willow dominated pretty much the entire time, and then they did a swerve at the end.
She should, considering the fucking size difference.
Yeah.
And I don't mean just like width-wise. I mean, Willow might be a good foot fucking taller than Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, it was one of those completely imbalanced size matchups that you... I know it's all predetermined. I know it's fake, but it's hard to buy this kind of crap. That someone like Mercedes Moné, who's just pulling off vaguely acrobatic moves that need the help of her opponent, could win a match.
Yeah. But I'm glad that they did the thing where Willow did lead a majority of the offense in that match. Because of that. Like, she'd have to.
Yeah.
I'll give Mercedes credit, though. There was that one move she did where she fucking lifted her up. And just, like, kind of walked around with her a little bit. At the end of the match, Stokely Hathaway and Chris Statlander would go to console a very upset Willow Nightingale who lost her title. And Stoke was like yelling at both of them, and Chris would push Stokely down. She's like, "Fuck you." And as they were leaving, she's yelling back at Stokely, and Willow grabs her to turn her around, and Willow hits her with, or Statlander hits Willow with the stiffest clothesline I might have seen the entire fucking night.
Yeah, so that's going to be their feud going forward.
And we should have known what happened because Chris Statlander was dressed in all black.
Again, more telegraphing.
Yeah. A very sexy lingerie outfit. It was. It was not clothing.
The only question I have about this match is, how do you feel about Monet winning her first match for a title?
For the amount of money he paid for her.
Yeah, makes sense, but I don't love it.
Well,
I mean,
the reason I don't love it is because with the amount of money that he paid for her, I don't anticipate her losing it soon. So I kind of wish she had to work harder to get it.
I am absolutely fine with her having it and holding it for a bit, because she doesn't deserve to be in the world title picture yet. And I'm glad he's doing it the way he did. You know, this gives Willow, she moves off to a feud with Chris Statlander. They can do a back and forth for a bit, and then that helps elevate Willow. She was a strong champion. She can go for the world title. The problem is, you have to keep Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné separate, because they're more than likely going to be the main event of one of your bigger pay-per-views within the next year. And the only way to do so is by keeping one in one division and one in the other.
It's true.
But Toni Storm is running out of fucking opponents. Next up was the AEW World Title match. Swerve Strickland would defend his title versus Christian Cage in also a very solid match. The fact that Christian Cage has turned a turtleneck into fucking ring gear, hats off, sir.
That's calculated.
A fucking sleeveless turtleneck.
How douchey does that sound? Much less when you see it in
Oh, yeah.
person. Yeah, that's excellent heel work.
Again, Christian is fantastic. He's fantastic in this role. He's a great heel. Swerve is doing his damnedest to like do the slow build to a face turn, depending on what they do next with his opponents.
Well, he's already got the crowd interest. He's already got them saying
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. He's at that point though where like he hasn't tipped either way yet. So if they need him to go back to being heel, they can. But I think trying to fight the crowd on it would
That never works.
no.
And finally,
what I can only describe as the most correct introduction to a match I've ever heard in my life, when Justin Roberts was like, "It's time for anarchy in the arena," and then he like sighed and he was like, "Welcome to the shit show." And the match would start with the Young Bucks making their entrance, wearing their new pumps. Okada would make his entrance, and before Jack Perry could come out, they get jumped by their opponents. I'm going to have to read this match verbatim because I don't want to leave any of the fucking insanity out. Kyle, this is the craziest match this fucking company has put on.
yeah, I think this is what the arena match wanted to be, except that was way too spread out.
Yeah. Okay. So Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler, Bryan Danielson, and Darby Allin would attack all of them to get the action underway immediately. Matt would grab a mic and made the production truck play the Bucks music as they fought. This would go on for like about a minute or so. But then Danielson put a stop to that by having them play, as he put it, the greatest entrance music in all of professional wrestling. And they played the final countdown. Almost the entire fucking song played. As all 8 men battled around the arena. AEW showed the various pairs in a 4-way split screen at different times so we could follow all of the mayhem. The crowd was singing and cheering the whole time. After the song stopped, the crowd chanted, "We want music," which also made me think, hey, they're onto something here. I think it would be pretty cool if they had like soundtracks to every match now.
Really should.
They
You'd
really
only
should.
add. At least try it for a while.
It was hard to follow the action at times until everyone made their way back to the ringside area, but that never stopped it from being entertaining. Trying to summarize everything we saw would be impossible, but at one point, Perry appeared to run over Darby Allin with a truck outside the arena. True story. That was after Darby would try to drown Jack Perry in a tub of ice water. As Perry was coming back, he grabbed Tony Khan and dragged Tony out to the ring, or tried to get him to the ring. Darby Allin then showed up with a flamethrower and lit the former Jungle Boy on fire. He was quickly extinguished by the Bucks, who also used the extinguishers to mess up Darby Allin. Allin was then tied to a cable from the rafters. Harwood was hit with an exploding chair. Oh, before this, there was a point where Dax was out in the concourse fighting Okada? Or one of the Bucks. And he walks over to the bar and does a couple shots and then goes back to fighting. Harwood would be hit with an exploding chair. That was pretty cool.
That was just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That surprised, I think that even surprised them. I don't think they remembered that it was rigged.
The Bucks would then use thumbtack-covered shoes to kick Darby Allin in the face. Mike, Darby posted a picture of his face. He's got fucking pinholes everywhere.
Now, don't forget, he came in with a face protector because he had a recent injury that had thumbtacks
on the outside.
Yeah, so he was using that, like, not headbutting enough people because that would have been pretty crazy. He used it once or twice.
Much like, so they kicked Darby Allin in the face as he was hung up like a piñata. And depending on your level of enjoyment is going to depend on how much you like chaos and non-traditional violence in your pro wrestling. They called it it was certainly a spectacle. Let's see what they have here. Yeah, here. Harwood looked like he was busted open by a beer can thrown by a dumb fan who was hopefully kicked out. It was kind of weird seeing Harwood and Wheeler in long tights instead of their usual trunks. It is true, they did have long tights on. The Bucks put Allin on their entrance elevator. That was right. The Bucks dumped Darby down the Cody Vader. And then,
wow.
Yeah,
then he disappeared for a second.
And that's when he came back with the fucking flamethrower.
Yeah. Like you could tell something was being set up because Perry comes walking past Gorilla and he's like covered in liquid. And you're like, why? The last time you saw him, he just tried to run over.
But he was drowned.
Yeah, but like when he was driving the truck, he wasn't. When he was driving the truck to try and run over Darby, he wasn't. He comes walking past Gorilla with just like this gelatin all over himself. I'm like, what? Why the hell's that? Grabs Tony, drags him out through the entranceway, and then Darby lights him on fire. I'm like, oh, okay, obvious, that's safety gel. All right, cool, that makes sense.
So, insanity.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
I want to reference back for a second. The best part about that FTW three-way match was, much like using thumbtacks, instead of that, they had bags of dice.
Yeah.
It was the high point of the whole match, that people were getting slammed on a bed of dice. So kind of like Legos, only in some ways even more painful. Still not a great match.
And then
Altogether, though, really strong pay-per-view.
Then I suggested Jacks, using a bag full of Jacks, or a bag full of bottle caps.
Oh. I wonder if anyone's ever done that.
Wow. Well, that's enough wrestling for tonight.
All right.
Yeah.
As always, if you like what you hear, you can like us on Facebook.com/Nerdities. Follow us on Twitter @Nerdities. Email us at nerdities@gmail.com and check out nerdities.com.
While you're there, fuck you. Also, I hate you. Go over to tpublic.com, search Nerdities, peruse shirts you're not going to buy, because you're an asshole. Then, go over to sinfulcreationsbyjustin.com, and not buy any baked goods, because you're probably too poor, and you don't know how to budget yourselves. And you probably buy stupid crumble cookies, which are twice as much as mine, and less tasty. And let's be honest, most of them taste like Play-Doh. Anyways, that's all I'm going to say to you people. That's all you fucking deserve. Starfleet, what are you doing over there?
I'm looking for youtube.com/nerdities because I'm going to pile drive that subscribe button and then bash that bell like you're waiting for that 3 count and check out all the new stuff that's coming to our YouTube channel, including Nerd ET's, our cooking show, which includes a May the 4th special. We have some shorts. We have a Halloween special. We have a Christmas special. We have a feature film in the works. We have the final installment of the Joe trilogy.
What's the name of that?
The Justice League.
Thank you.
We need money to do all this stuff. So give us it. If you want to sponsor Nerdities, write to us at nerdities@gmail.com. We'll croon, we'll swoon, but talk about your business and or product.
Joe, you really saved it at the end there, because the beginning, it kind of made me feel like I watched that FTW championship match.
Joe, you started off with a little thunder, and I thought it was going to be followed up with a little lightning, but it was like a little thunder and then some drizzle.
Yeah, I'm like, that's all like the wrestling terminology I know, so I kind of had to be like, okay.
I respected the energy.
Yeah.
The execution just wasn't where it needed to be.
Right.
Things that nerds created like for but don't nerds before. More than fuck, buddy.
Fuck you.
Because of the end of civilization, the Clamp Cable Network now leaves the air. We hope you have enjoyed our programming, but more importantly, we hope you have enjoyed life.